Hello everybody and welcome to Mr. Stansfield's education videos. Today we're in the field. You can see behind me here, we're on the Charles River here in Boston, Massachusetts. And just over my shoulder, just behind me around the bend, there's a little dam, there's a little waterfall. And what we're trying to do today is actually reduce our shutter speed enough to slow the water down to be able to get a nice smooth, milky, white color on the water. Neutral density filters are great for trying to slow down your shutter speed during the day. It's one of the few things besides a camera, a lens, a memory card maybe, that I'm going to bring with me whenever I'm shooting landscapes. The problem that we're trying to solve by using a neutral density filter is that functionally when you have a bright sunny day, or even just any day for that matter, oftentimes there's just too much light to get a slow enough shutter speed. If I do have an opportunity to slow my shutter speed down to 10 seconds, 20 seconds, or even 30 seconds, oftentimes the results are great. And you usually can't get those kinds of shutter speeds unless you're shooting at magic hour or dusk or sometime in the evening. Really, there's just too much light during the day, no matter how cloudy, no matter how dark it is during the day. Typically, there's just too much light to be able to get the kind of results that we're looking for. Okay, here we are at the waterfall. You can see behind me, it's a little bit louder. Hopefully you can hear me. I've set my camera up, I've composed, I've focused, and the next step is to take a meter reading. Now without the neutral density filter, my meter reading is at about 1/100th of a second. Now 1/100th of a second is really too fast. You'll see, I'm gonna take a picture and after looking at it, you're gonna see it's not great. All right, so a couple of things to note. Whenever I'm shooting here on a tripod, typically I want to use this. This is a cable release or a shutter release, and the shutter release is going to allow me to take a picture without actually touching the camera, and that's going to reduce vibration. The other thing that I want to do whenever I'm shooting a slow shutter speed or shooting on a tripod is to use the mirror lockup function. Now the mirror lockup function, it's in the menu of the camera. It's going to take the mirror inside of the SLR, it's going to flip it up the first time you press the button, and then the second time you press the button, it's actually going to take the picture, and it's going to reduce the vibration in the camera. This is a great way to get really sharp pictures whenever you're using a slow shutter speed. So let's take the first picture. We'll take it at 1/100th of a second. As you can see, it's not great. It's fine, but it's not great. So I'm going to add my neutral density filter. Neutral density filter is right here. I'm going to screw it right onto the front of the camera, and then hopefully that'll be able to get our shutter speed down to at least 2, 3, 4 seconds, maybe even up to 10 or 20 seconds. Here you can see we got the shutter speed all the way down to 30 seconds by using the 10-stop neutral density filter. The results are great. This is really what we're looking for, that really nice slow shutter speed giving us this milky white water. Here's another view, really the same thing. What we're looking at here is 1/200th of a second as our shutter speed without the neutral density filter. It looks fine. It's not great, but by putting a 6-stop neutral density filter on the front of the lens, we're able to get the shutter speed down to 15 seconds. The results are much better. The water looks much more interesting. 15 seconds looks good, but actually by experimenting a little bit and playing around with the settings on my camera, I was able to get a 2-second exposure time. And again, using the 6-stop neutral density filter, the result is that there's a little bit more contrast in the water. And I think that adds a little bit of a dynamic view to this image. And so I guess it just goes to show that you're not always going to use the slowest possible shutter speed. Sometimes that's going to be the picture you're looking for, but I guess we want to experiment with different approaches. Thanks so much for watching Mr. Stansfield's education videos. Check me out on YouTube. I'm at Mr. Stansfield's Education Videos. That's my channel. And my website is teach.photo.